everyone. We'll be getting started soon. Just waiting for join us. Because we'll start the moment. A few more minutes.
When your audio sounds out, like you're going in and out on the water a little bit.
How's that? Is that sounding better?
I can still hear feedback, unless it's just me. I don't know if it sounds the same for everyone else.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Everything's all right? Everything's all right?
My system went down. I'm on Sundari's computer.
I can go ahead and start today's discussion. Begin with prayer for spiritual workers. And then we'll move into our Q&A session. Hope that is better. Prayer for spiritual workers. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their limitation, would smite me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their weakness, would not heed me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their ignorance, would defile you through me. Ask, Almighty God, O wondrous power, that your strength may be given to me now. I might be fortified by this, so that I might go forward bravely into the world, and despite perception, send forth my love of thee throughout all races of man. Mighty God, give me the power and strength to rise above my comic weakness, the deficiencies in the pattern of my evolution. I might evolve and become stronger, I, and even stronger in thy everlasting light. O God, thy will be done. All right, everyone, welcome to open discussion on various topics, class 67. As per usual, feel free to ask any questions you may have in the chat if you're joining us on YouTube, or if you're joining us via Zoom, you can ask your question chat there as well, or you can use the raise hand feature.
Auxiliary input mode.
Audio playback. After our open discussion session, we will move into view of the chakra yantra diagrams. In previous classes, we looked at the Muladhara and the Svadhisthana chakras, base spine centers. Then we looked at the Manipura chakra and the Anahata chakras, solar plexus heart centers. And then today, actually, no, we didn't finish the chakra. So we'll finish up the heart chakra diagram. And then we will into the Vishuddhi chakra. And That's what we'll cover in the second half.
Auxiliary input mode.
Diagram is available in the your Google Drive folder. Go ahead and look through that. See, have your questions ready section. Do we have any questions? Sorry.
Dwayne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are there any questions? No? Yes, if there are no questions, then continue. And questions come up, feel free to ask that. Okay, so last week we started this diagram on the heart chakra. I believe we got through most of the text portion. And diagram and table on the left remaining. We'll start here at the final paragraph here. The heart chakra, Anahata chakra, regulates the sustaining sonic signals that hold consciousness in place on several realms of existence. The heart chakra is the fourth major nadi nut and is called the Anahata chakra in Sanskrit terms. The Sanskrit terminology, Anahata, is said to mean the wheel of unstruck sound. This carries and releases the holy sound vibration or seed mantra, written there, which is released from the bindu via the soul through this chakra. This sound represents the control of the Shakti power as mind. This chakra gives meaning to the Shakti power through the manifestation of the Nadic power that resonates here. And you might say this chakra is meaning to the Shakti power manifestation, Nadic power. What does meaning mean?
Can you hear me?
Yes, a lot of feedback.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you. There's no feedback this time.
Okay, can you hear me now? There's no feedback, right?
Yeah, there's no feedback. No, I can hear you. They're staying on YouTube, they can hear the both of us. It's coming through, all right?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was asking before, that in the sentence you were saying this chakra gives meaning to the Shakti power, the manifestation of the Nadic power that resonates here. Just want to know what you meant by meaning.
Okay. Hold back. Say it again.
In the sentence here, it says this chakra gives meaning to the Shakti power, to the manifestation of the Nadic power that resonates in the heart center. I was wondering what you meant by the term meaning.
Because it's at the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the chakra that solidifies the functions of things. So when all the energy leaves the energy is transformed in the solar plexus center, and the matter is formed, and then in the heart chakra, the heart chakra breathes meaning and direction for the subtle bodies, the subtle material bodies of things, and it gives it purpose and meaning, and it gives it a time cycle in which it should exist within. And from there, it goes to the throat chakra, and the throat chakra allows it to go to the gross plane of existence. So the heart chakra is where all the subtle bodies are formed in the heart chakra, and all the organs, the systems, and all that stuff is given purpose, direction, meaning, and a time cycle in which it should last through the heart chakra. You understand?
No. So that's where, so it's at this point where, no, I don't understand.
Huh?
No, I don't understand.
You don't understand?
No.
Yeah. Well, you have the function of the heart chakra is where meaning comes into things. Okay, so in the let's go back to the first chakra. The first chakra is the chakra of is the root chakra, for at least for mankind. So the first chakra brings about self-consciousness, right? That the person is aware of their individuality. The second chakra solidifies their conscious and subconscious mind and unconscious mind. The unconscious and subconscious is the same thing. And then you have the subconscious mind, which is the mind that takes care of all functions. Then you move to the solar plexus chakra, where it transforms energy into subtle, into the various subtle matter, such as such as water, air, solids, and then it gives it can reverse it, and it can also build it up. But then the heart chakra solidifies and bring online all the organs and the systems. In other words, because you have cellular structure, cells build tissue, tissue builds organs, organs build systems. But that system can't go online unless the creative sound from the heart chakra gives meaning to it. So it gives meaning to the subtle movements inside the blood system, inside the tissue, the organs, and then it has the organs to cooperate with each other as a system. And that's why they talk about the unstruck sound and the various sounds of the heart chakra, and the beating heart and the lungs, because the lungs cannot function without the heart. So all of that is done. That's where the meaning come in at. And then once it goes to the throat center allows a physical body to be formed in order to house all the subtle bodies, and then you can enter into the physical plane.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes. So the heart center then, in that meaning, it gives it the energy, definition, and purpose, and kind of dictates the modes of motion that the energy is taking its respective function.
Because motion brings about time.
Right.
So it dictates the meaning and the cycles in which that subtle material will last. Okay, it's not only subtle material of the blood, tissue, organs, and systems, but it's also the etheric body and the astral body and aspects of the auric body. Because the auric body, by law, can only service the astral, the etheric astral, the mental, etheric, astral, and physical body. By law, it can only serve them for so long in a particular cycle, by karmic law.
When that time's up, those bodies die.
Right.
Hence why a risen body doesn't die.
Huh?
And hence why a risen body doesn't die in the way that our body does.
Because consciousness by then have moved to the crown center, to the Christ and crown center, and is no longer dictated by the laws that's governed by the heart chakra.
So that's why for Adamic men, with the heart being their base, their bodies were much different. They're basically operating as a body.
Yeah, because they didn't have to split the energy to the lower chakras. So when their subtle bodies was much stronger, because they didn't have to divide the heart chakra up into the solar plexus chakra, the sex chakra, and the root chakra, or the base of spine chakra, even the chakras below the base of the spine. They didn't have to split those chakras up. They had moved their consciousness all the way up to the heart chakra. So so their physical, the subtle and physical bodies was much stronger, and it was able to pull in more energy, and it had a greater capacity.
Mhm. Does the term base, referring to a chakra, does that mean the center where the majority of Kundalini is locked up? Meaning, so for us, when we say the base of the spine chakra, that is, we're physically referring to a general location state, but we're also referring to the place where Kundalini has tied itself up into the 3.5 knot. But if, say, a heart was a base, heart chakra was a base chakra, would Kundalini still tie itself up there in that same configuration, or wouldn't tie itself at
Yeah.
all? It would just fix?
No, it would the base for the Adamic man was at the heart chakra. So that's the lowest the Kundalini had failed at that particular time. So Kundalini was working from that point.
But they would have a larger percentage of Kundalini operating throughout their Nadic system as opposed
Yeah,
to us,
because
where the vast majority is tied up.
Yeah, because the Kundalini was not divided. It was not divided into what essentially 11 other major chakras below the heart chakra, and no telling how many minor and minute chakras it was divided into. So they did not have that.
So if someone were to fully raise the power of Kundalini to the heart center, you've taught us, and Dr. has taught us, that in order to return back and walk among humanity again, the power of Kundalini has to be returned to the base of the spine and then tied back up again. But couldn't someone just leave it at the heart, raise it to the heart center and leave it there and operate from that center? Would they not be able to interact with us at that point?
No, they can leave a part of the Kundalini there, but they can't leave all of the Kundalini. Because remember, the Kundalini allows movement.
Right.
So if you remove the Kundalini completely from the base and lodge it into the heart chakra, then you will have to rebuild. I mean, you have to build a whole nother body in order to keep it there.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's a question here. So if someone wants to push out energy from the palms to send healing, etc., do we have to imagine it coming out of the heart chakra?
In the technique we use, we do give a quick imagination of the energy leaving the heart and the palms. In fact, the heart chakra is one of the few chakras that you can concentrate on, in a sense, a slight concentration to direct energy through it. And there again, the energy leaving the heart chakra is a place that's perceptive to meaning. So that's why you would want it to exit the heart chakra and the palms of the hands. because the palms of the hands, the palms of the hands has major chakras, but the palms of the hands also express. It's an energy. It's a chakra that brings about expression. So along with meaning and expression, your energy will make it to the point. Plus, the heart chakra is the chakra that produces love energy. So it helps to sustain the energy by exiting the heart chakra.
And just to remind everyone, even though I'm currently going through the diagram, still feel free to ask any questions you may have. We'll do my best to answer those for you. Okay, so let's go down to this diagram here. And we'll start at the center in the Bindu and work our way outward. The diagram below demonstrates the energy flow within a chakra, which is a compaction of subtle forces behind gross physical manifestation. So we'll start in the center. The center is the Bindu, which is a point of pure consciousness. And this line going through the Bindu, I assume represents no. And we see propagating to the left and the right, or as written here, front and the back. The mind, pranas, bhutas, nadis in a wave of tattvic matter rays. Here, the full nada expression on various gross levels of existence. Right? These arrows represent the pull and attraction of energies. The energies is flowing back and forth. And down here is a wave of modified tattvic matter creating the realm of existence according to the karmic pressures needed at the time. So the tattvic matter pushed out through the psychic center to create a specific realm that center is operating upon, and the laws or rules that govern how that realm operates are dictated by the karmic pressures that are needed at that time. Any questions? Or okay. Let's move here to the table on the left-hand side. So the components of the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, which is the fourth chakra composed of 12 petals, and the bijas or petals of the vibrations of nadi configurations. These are the syllables there. The mantra there. This is the realm of balance. The Sanskrit name of the realm is the Mahar Loka. The element is air, and the Mahabhutas, the cosmic element, Vayu, air and gas. Gas is. The name of the tattva is Vayu, composed of 54 tattvic rays. Its esoteric color is violet, and the exoteric color, green. Oh, hence the green light and the violet flame practice. Okay? They work on that center, creating the balance. That's why we use the green light in a service. Okay? The mandala is a hexagon. The presiding prana, dhyana. The sound vibration is Madhyayama, sorry. The presiding deity is Shankara, three-eyed Shiva. The Grantinath, Vishnu. The Guna Rajas, the Devic goddess, Dakini. Esoteric planets, Saturn, and Kundalini representation is Surya. Surya. And what I was talking about earlier is in our practices, we're taught to use a green light during our prayer practices, and that helps to create a balance, mental and spiritual balance in the environment. Is that correct, anyone? In previous classes, they might have gone into a discussion about colors. I think the diagram is in the collection. I don't think I uploaded it to the shared folder. He's talked about colors, their significance, their meaning, and how they can be utilized for different purposes like healing, balance, and so forth. If there is an interest in that, I will upload that diagram and maybe we can get a discussion going on that as well. Is it possible after the class, can I somehow call or reach Grand Baba? Yes, you can send us an email and we'll get back to you. It's something that requires private conversation that can be arranged. So we'll send us an email. We'll get back in touch with you. Are there any other questions or comments on this before we move to growth center? All right. The Vishuddhi chakra, the throat center, the fifth major chakra along the spinal column. Again, we're going up from the base to the right center. We'll be touching on the crown center. These diagrams. Vishuddhi belongs to the fifth loka, the plane of the Janaha. Here, the left, these 16 petals that are around the circumference of Chakra. These 16 petals correspond to the number of nadi associated with this center. On each petal, one of the Sanskrit vowels is inscribed in crimson. You can see those there. Here, the Bija mantra is written there. Also, pure white, which is the seed sound or vibration of the etheric element. Right, so if you remember back at the japa diagram where elements were laid out and they're corresponded to their respective fingers and centers. So here's what that information should be familiar to you. In the pedicap of this lotus is a circle which is white like the full moon, representing the element of ether or akasha. This ethereal region is the gateway to liberation for one whose senses are pure and controlled. And the final box here, within this moon shape is a snow white elephant, also symbolic of the akasha element. This is considered as the vehicle of consciousness of this plane, and the aspirant may picture himself upon its back. That's a breakdown of the more information about the throat center. This chakra is the vortex center of power that purifies all types of energy that pass through it. The 16 petals of this chakra are the vowels of the Sanskrit alphabet. It is here where the embodied consciousness of man expresses itself. The Udana prana that flows from this vortex center operates within the head, arms, and legs, which are all the tools of expression. So, you think about the function of vowels, in how in every word there is a vowel, and is to sound which consciousness expressed. It's interesting to see how all the petals within this chakra are composed of the vowels. Word. Interesting. As well as the prana, which flows through this center, is expressed in the heads, arms, and legs, which again are the tools in which we express ourselves and interact with our environment in this realm. Very interesting. The throat center is the fifth major nadi knot and is called Vishuddhi chakra in the Sanskrit terminology, which means the wheel of purity. It is the vortex center of purification. This chakra is the final resting place for the fourth aspect of sound, Vikari sound, that gives mankind the ability to manifest consciousness on the physical and subtle planes of existence simultaneously. Okay, good. It goes into it here. This is the chakra that man must operate from in order to break the ring past not force field that bounds mankind here on earth. Or another word term for the ring past not the ionosphere belt. When mankind can fully raise the power of Kundalini consciously to the Vishuddhi chakra and fully activate and open the chakra, then it is said that he can exit his physical body with the etheric body in full consciousness on this planet and any other in this solar system for a specific time. In other words, that when the adept can raise their Kundalini in full and open up the Vishuddhi chakra, then they're able to escape the ring past that or project from in their third body from this planet to any other planet. They're able to do so for a specified time, or that they're allowed to go to. You can't just walk up to the other planet. This chakra is made up of several sonic forces as well. It has the seed mantra, Isha, H-A-M, that produces 16 petals or letters, sound bits, and 72 topic rays, which are 72 modes of motion. These modes of motion configure themselves in a manner that manifests various qualities of purification. Okay. These 22 tantric rays are made up from the quality of the third Maha Bindu force, the moon. The reflective energy rays of the mighty sun being conditioned by the moon and its loyal Luna divas help to shape the mental realms of Earth. The Sanskrit name for this Luna diva is called Chandra Diva Pru. And so in previous classes, we've discussed the Divic kingdom, their roles and functions. And although in that class, Nehemiah kept the discussion to the divas of Earth, it is not difficult to understand that the same or similar operations are conducted by on other planets as well. Not to the point of the limitation which we impose upon them here on this earth, but they do perform similar functions on other lokas or planets as well. Let's see, any questions so far? Questions?
Nehemiah, I got a question about the fourth aspect of sound.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it says this chakra is the final resting place for the fourth aspect of sound. Does that mean do the other three aspects of sound are below it in the heart going down to the base, or are they above it inside of the remaining of the head centers?
No, well, at that point, the fourth sound cannot manifest or operate itself unless the other sounds have manifested itself. So essentially, it's one sound, but it's different aspects and functions of the sound. And the way the Cosmic Masters broke it down was they gave us the four aspects of sound so that we can understand it. Although it's one celestial song or sound according to the Vedas that's coming from the Kundalini, when it goes into the Shiva state or the dormant state, it releases a celestial song, and that celestial song has what they described as having 4 aspects to it, and those 4 aspects carried out certain duties or certain functions, and the 4th one is the ability to allow you to cycle through subtle and physical bodies and move mental energy or mental thoughts from the mental realm into the gross physical realm, and also take those mental thoughts from the gross realm back to the mental realm. But it can't function if the other 3 sounds are not in operation.
Yeah, so the other 3 sounds that are in operation, are they still, they operate primarily through the base of the spine?
No, they operate, you have the first sound that releases it, then you have the next sound that operates in the solar plexus center, and then you have the 3rd sound operate within the heart chakra, and then you have the 4th sound operating within the throat center.
Okay.
And all of those have to be simultaneously in operation in order for them to work in balance. The heart chakra bring all 3 sounds together, like I said earlier, through giving it meaning, giving it purpose and meaning, so that they can work together in unison. And now the subtle bodies are created. And then when the sound graduates to the throat chakra, you can be incarnated into a gross or 4th aspect body. So you can cycle in and out of the gross physical planes of existence. The same way the cosmic masters come in a 4th aspect body.
Okay.
All right.
Say that again. When it's through the throat center that the 4th aspect body is manifested, is built. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, of course it is. That's what it all means. That's what those 4 sounds means. That's why Dr. George King spoke about the masters coming in the 4th aspect body. Because that was the lowest they can split their consciousness and still maintain some level of advanced intelligence.
I thought the 4th aspect body would be originated from some of the lower centers.
You thought it'd do what now?
I thought the 4th aspect body would have been generated from some of the lower centers.
No. How can it do that? It cannot do that. That doesn't make sense. And the only way we had to be given permission by a higher force in order to, and we had to be bound by karmic law in order to enter the physical plane of existence. So it is the Christ chakra and the throat chakra that allow us to be on the physical plane.
Okay.
So I mean that's because why? Because the Christ and throat chakra does what the law of karma. Go back to your basic teachings. What does it do?
It enforces it.
Huh?
It interprets it, enforces it.
They enforce. They Yeah, they do not act outside the law of karma. So those type of pressures had to be placed on the individual cycling in and out of the physical realms of existence. And that's why when someone began to build up, that's why mathematics worked the way it worked. We're told in mathematics that if you take a negative number and multiply it by another negative number, a positive number will be produced, right?
Right.
So what is that telling us? The number system tells us about the law of karma. And like I told you, you have to begin to look at it like that. Because if you have a person that goes out and they just commit these vile, nasty acts, and they continue to do wrong and continue to build up negative karma against themselves, then all of a sudden the law of karma say no more. You cannot go forward anymore. And then something happened to stop them. They cannot move forward in that direction anymore. You know, it's the same way. It's the same way when someone in the physical world, through the physical laws of the man-made laws, they catch somebody committing a crime over and over and over, they lock them up. And then that person have a time to reflect on the things they did. Now, if they don't get it from the time they locked up, then they repeat that action. But the same thing is going to happen. They're gonna do their dirt, commit their crime, and then they're going to be locked up again, and until they realize what they did was wrong. And even if the law doesn't catch them and they continue to do their dirt, something happens to change them. Something happens to modify their actions. In the lower astral realms, when they said when the great masters went to go fight the dark forces, or the masters of dark magic, what did they do? They had them to chase them through the realms, right? To where? to the highest realm, until what? Until they reach the higher realms, the realms of the Christ center and the crown chakra realms of existence. And what happened? That person automatically is reincarnated. And when they reincarnated, their consciousness is split up into multiple bodies, and they have to start over. So the Christ chakra and the realms of the Christ chakra and the realms of the throat chakra dictate all the movement of all the other chakras. That's another reason why the throat chakra controls the energy of the hands, arms, leg, and feet. So that's just karmic law. You understand?
So, yes. So when the throat center is open and full, and Kundalini is raised there, which allows us to break the ring past knot, is it also where we step into that third traveling aspect?
Into the third what?
Into the third aspect, that traveling aspect?
The traveling aspect is from the heart chakra. The fourth chakra, I mean the throat chakra, is another aspect of the traveling aspect. See, now the traveling aspect also exists within the solar plexus chakra as well, and somewhat in the sex chakra, but it's limited consciousness and limited awareness in those chakras. Not so much in the and I'm talking about astral projection.
Right.
Now, when you reach the heart chakra, you can bring about etheric projection, which is advanced projection from the body. In a more powerful risen, because the astral body is a risen body too, but the astral body has a lot of distortion to it. But once you have moved from that realm of consciousness and move into the heart chakra and the throat chakra, then you're dealing with the etheric body, which is a very, very powerful and very, very high level of consciousness. So, but now you can't compare I know you're thinking about the 4 aspects of creation. You can't compare that to the earth, because remember, our consciousness is split up multiple times, but it's the same laws working on a lower level of existence. Remember, the heart chakra takes care of the subtle bodies. What does the subtle bodies do? They reincarnate in the subtle realms. They travel through the subtle realms, the mental, the etheric, and the astral realms. They travel through those realms. Now, you can die off of a subtle realm and be born on a subtle realm. See, you can die from this physical plane, go to one of the subtle realms, and then you learn everything you can learn on that particular realm, and then you go through a transition of death there on that subtle realm and move to a higher subtle realm. So that happens, but it's the heart chakra creates the subtle bodies in which we exist in either the astral realms or the etheric realms. Remember, according to history, according to the mystic history, when mankind came here from the planet that they destroyed 18,600,000 or 800,000 some years ago, they lived on the subtle realms of Earth for hundreds of thousands of years.
Right.
Before they came to the physical, before the physical realm can even allow them to walk the physical earth. So it's if you go back to tantric yoga will explain to you how the the Christ chakra or adrenal chakra is the command center over the other chakras. And the throat chakra is the purification and dictator of the physical realm. Okay? Go back and study that in that light.
Okay. All right. Thank you. For those wondering, referring to fourth, third aspect, it's referring to this lecture here given by Dr. George King on the 4 aspects of creation. It was, I believe it was a mental transmission given to him as he was in communion with another being, revealed the 4 aspects of creation, and he goes into a deeper explanation about it. We also have some classes as well on YouTube. Go into more information about 4 aspects. There's a question here. Where am I? A lot of people talk about archangels. What are these beings?
Who's asking that?
Jack, Mr. Jack Stafford.
Jack, it's so many crazy theories about that. I don't know where to start. That's too much to go into. But let me say this, which is rarely talked about. Every major realm of this earth has is governed by the energies of one of the planets in the solar system, or one of the planets, and one of the celestial planets in the solar system lends their energy. A lot of this energy have been held up and blocked over the centuries because of man's karma. But during that time, according to the secret doctrines, you had these bodhisattvas that came to Earth and worked with each realm, and they would come for a period of time to help manipulate the energy of those major planes of existence. Even though they was limited in the amount of energy that they can give, but in these cosmic masters or bodhisattvas, in the ancient teachings they call them bodhisattvas, they did not incarnate on the physical plane. They lived on the subtle planes, and they worked hand in hand with the Devic kingdom. Now, when you go and look at the devas, when you go and look at the chakra system, or the major chakras, they will talk about the tavic or tava rays of each chakra. Each one of those rays of energy has a designated diva to manipulate that energy, right? And a tava ray is a combination of multiple modified Shakti power that's being directed from the sun and modified by the planets and the moon and the earth. So these cosmic beings and divas will help modify those energies in order to assist the Mother Earth in completing her mission, which was to be a refuge for mankind and the animal kingdom and the insect and fish kingdom or whatever. So in ancient times, I think originally they called those masters archangels. So that live between the realms, or live that live between the realms and live on the major realms and govern the work. And majority of the times they worked in secret, and it's rarely that they came out to communicate with the public, although they had a constant communication with the city of Shambhala, which they took their directives from the logos of the earth and the city of Shambhala. But if you go back to the secret doctrines and Isis Unveiled, you would see what I'm talking about.
Someone told me that the display on YouTube is blurry. Guys, let me know if it looks a little better now, or if it's difficult to read. I can zoom in a little bit. There's a question here referring to what you're saying regarding both the throat and the heart chakras. Question is this why we are compelled to speak what we feel because of the functions of the heart and throat chakra?
Yeah, feeling is consciousness. Wherever you see feeling at, then there's consciousness. So yes, you are compelled to speak and act on your feelings. Because your feelings dictates your consciousness or where you are. So yes, you're correct.
Another question here. When Nehemiah said the planet was destroyed, is he referring to Tiamat?
No, I accept the name that that Dr. King spoke of, and I think some Egyptian people of Egyptian teaching spoke of too, which is called Meldek. And Meldek lived orbit. It was orbiting between Jupiter and Mars. It made its orbit between Jupiter and Mars. Now you can see the asteroid belt is there because that is the remains of Meldek. And that's how we came about with the asteroid belt. And all life forms most of all life forms on Meldek was transferred to the Mother Earth. And that happened over 18 million some years ago. I think we did a lecture on that. I did a bit. Was that lecture recorded?
On Maldek?
Yeah.
Yes, it spanned over a couple of lectures. One series we did on the secret doctrines, another series done on the history of man, and another series where you looked at the lokas and the time periods. So it spread out over a couple, or the information is repeated in several series, but I think you went into the most detail about it in the secret doctrines series.
Yeah, so they can look on the YouTube, and because there was a PowerPoint for that too that I did.
Yes, it was.
And over that.
The follow-up question, if feeling is consciousness, what does it mean when one isn't in control of their feelings? Is it still their consciousness?
Yes, like I said earlier, your conscious mind and unconscious mind is one and the same. And then you have your subconscious mind, which feeds the unconscious and subconscious mind, because the conscious and unconscious mind does not have control. It's fighting for control. The superconscious mind feeds the subconscious mind, and then you have the supraconscious mind that feeds all the minds, or become the operating center, the operating system for all the other minds. So yes, of course we don't have control. No one have complete control that's living on this physical plane of existence, unless they are in a risen body.
Also, something Nehemiah telling me in the past, that feelings and emotions are different, or feeling and emotion are different things. So Alex, if you're referring to emotions, then that's something else.
Yeah, because I said earlier, I explained that the astral existence is a distortion. And that's where most of your uncontrolled emotions come from. Because your mental, your consciousness, you know, man's basic consciousness is lodged in the base of the spine and the sex center. And that is in the astral realms of existence, which is essentially a distortion. And that's where all the uncontrolled emotions come from. Because we have to fight through a cloud of total distortion.
Okay. Any additional questions? Finish up this page. Surprised there's no questions in Lunar Divas. We had many questions about the moon in the past. Let's just look at this diagram here on the left-hand side. You have a picture of the org and the physical body with the major centers laid out. And moving from to bottom, there's an arrow using that is an involution process, describing the descent of Kundalini down to the base. The process of evolution is going back up with that Kundalini back up to Christ and crown centers. At the Christ center, represented in its respective color, violet, it is the commando center. Then we have the throat center, represented in its respective blue indigo color. It is the manifestation of life through the fourth aspect of consciousness. The heart center represented in green color. Then we have the solar plexus center represented in yellow. That is the major intake, exchange, and transference of subtle energies that helps to sustain the manifested life within all the components of the body. And we have next the sex center, the esoteric color of orange. Exoteric color of orange is the seats of consciousness. And then the base of the spine represents the outer center represented in its respective color, the formation of self-consciousness. Finally, we'll look at the table describing the components of the Vishuddha chakra, the throat center. It is the fifth chakra, composed of 16 petals, and inscribed on those petals are the vibrations of Nadi configurations, the vowels. Its respective mantra is M, belonging to the Kashur realm. The Sanskrit name of that realm is the Jana or Janar Loka. Its element is ether, and the Mahabhutas or cosmic element is the Tasha, or etheric sound. And the name of the Tasha, Tasa. The 72 Tashic rays, its esoteric color is indigo, and its exoteric color is blue. It's a round mandala, and the presiding prana is Udana, or the up breath. The sound vibration is Sarkari, presiding deity, Maheswara, Sadhasiva, has been Sorry, no, I butchered that. It's Grantinas Brahma. Guna is Sattva. The Devic goddess is Shakini. Esoteric planet is Venus. And Kundalini representation of Surya. Any questions? All right. No questions. And let's move on to the Ajna chakra. It is the sixth major chakra along the spinal column or along the Ajna is symbolized by a two-petaled lotus. According to the scriptures, it is a pale color, light gray, like a rainy day. Some say it is white, like the moon, or silver, but actually it is an intangible color. Below the chakra, the three nadis merge. Ida on the left, Pingala on the right, and Sushumna in between. Within the lotus is a perfectly round circle which symbolizes Shunya, the void. Within the circle is an inverted triangle which represents Shakti, creativity, and manifestation. Above the triangle is a black Shiva Lingam. Up here, Param Shiva is the deity of Ajna Chakra, and he shines like a chain of lightning flashes. The goddess is the pure-minded Akini, whose 6 faces are like so many moons. Over the Shiva Lingam is the traditional symbol of OM, with its tail on top and the crescent moon and Bindu above that. OM is the Bija mantra and symbol of Ajna Chakra, and above its form can be seen the Raif, the grace of sound consciousness. This last box at the bottom. On the left petal is the letter HAM, and on the right, KSHM. HAM and KSHM are inscribed in a silvery white color and are the Bija mantras for Shiva and Shakti. One represents the moon, or Ida Nadi, and the other the sun, or Pingala Nadi. Check to see if there's any questions. No? Okay. Moving. The right center, or Ajna Chakra, is the 6th major nadi knot. The ancient Sanskrit word ajna means command. Place for chakra after the word, and you have a short meaning of command wheel. This chakra is located between the eyebrows within the etheric structure. This chakra is where the spinal column is terminated. It is also where the three nodic energy flows called Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna nadis terminate and merge back as one or single consciousness. The first level of equilibrium of the Shakti power was at the base of the spine, and the second level of Shakti, and the second equilibrium level of Shakti along the spinal column is the Christ chakra. The Bindu energy expressed here is the highest level of static Shakti power being expressed along the spinal column. The deep, pure meditation at this level takes the adept to a level of mastership. This chakra is called the Guna chakra. The activation and opening of this chakra is brought about by the full consciousness, by the full conscious rays of the power of Kundalini entering a deep state of meditation. The man that fully taps into the power by raising, taps into this power by raising the power, the man that fully taps into this power by raising the Kundalini to the Christ center and fully activating it destroys all negative karma of his past lives and transcends all the positive karma of the past lives. So Nehemiah, in other words, the adept doesn't attain mastership until they reach the Christ shock center.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But at that point, they are really an avatar. But it's a master of a master. It's true mastership, in other words, as some people describe it.
Nima, I got a question about the Granthi knots.
Uh-huh.
Do they correspond with the there's three mate well there's only three well there are three Granthi knots, correct?
Right.
Are they also coincidentally located at where the those three other aspects of sound emanate from those chakras? I know the Granthi knot is not in the chakra itself. It proceeds, it's on the nadi, but do they also correspond with the location just above those the chakras just above those knots?
In a sense, yes. But now you have the first Granthi knot that is made up from the chakras and rims of the base of the spine and the sex center. And the second Granthi knot is the solar plexus and the heart chakra.
Right.
And then the last Granthi knot is the throat chakra and the Christ chakra. And I think that's why you see some masters they refer to some Kundalini adepts as adepts even when they have reached the heart chakra. You know, because when you reach the heart chakra, then you're looking into mastership. And then but they still call them adept in certain circles, and even when they reach the throat chakra, they call them an adept. But when they reach the Christ chakra, they call them a master. So, but then, and you have other circles that begin to call them a master once they reach the heart chakra.
Right, but you said the third granted knot, is it the heart and the throat or the throat and the Christ?
It's the throat and the Christ.
Oh, wow. A lot of work.
Yeah. So and when you take the first granted knot, they said by accomplishing by raising the Kundalini and to the sex center, and then in order to go to the bring the Kundalini to the solar plexus center, you have unlocked the granted knot of the sex and the base of the spine. And that means that you rule over 118 realms of existence when you untie that granted knot. So you could pull on the energy of 118 realms, astral realms, and mental realms. So an adept who can raise Kundalini to the solar plexus center has tremendous power at his command.
So, but you know, once you go through those knots, are you forced to, I guess, put them back in place when you're done with your meditation?
Yes, you have to bring the power back down, but what's left is the knowledge, and knowledge produces power.
But the knot is permanent.
Yeah, but you can always, once you walk through a door, you can always walk back through that door.
Okay.
Yeah, you tie everything back down so that you keep your sanity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. You can't have all that energy flowing through you in an awakened state.
Yeah, because you come back down to the basic level, and you don't want to, when you walk into the presence of somebody, you don't want to see who they were 10,000 lives ago, because you won't be able to maintain that communication with them, or a sense of presence, or you don't want to prejudge them, in other words.
Right. So as you're going through the gradual rise of Kundalini, does the rule of the law that states that you are, you know, as you go from one chakra up to the next highest chakra, you actually are bringing the power and the full energy of that chakra and using it, enlarging it into the next higher one. That process, does it stop at the throat or it continues all the way into the Christ center?
What you mean it stops at the throat? What you're getting at? The what? The power?
Yeah, like the process of having to raise bring up all the energy from the previous lower chakras and into the next preceding one.
That's the only way you're gonna take it. That's the only way you're gonna open each chakra.
Okay.
You have to move all the energy from the low. You have to bring about a conscious state of death and move all the energy to the next chakra in order to fully open that chakra and unravel the granting knot.
Okay.
So that's why when you unravel, when you enter into the Christ chakra, you know, and do the meditation on the 2 or 3 petals there. They only name 2 petals, but there's actually, you know, the third one is the Shushunda. But when you do the meditation on that, then you unravel that last branching knot, you become an avatar. And at any time you can move forward and go into the crown chakra and ascend, you know, but you stay there according to law, to karmic law. You decide what you're going to do according to karmic law, because at that point, you may look over and you may see how your presence is keeping a balance somewhere just by being there. And you may decide to dictate your timetable based on the energy configuration that you are helping to maintain. So, but that's, you know, in your lower chakras, you hither and there because you still understanding the law, but by the time you reach the higher chakras, you know that you understand that you must maintain the law, or you must manipulate the energy in order to balance things so that you don't bring any negative karma upon yourself. So at that point, it's clear to you.
We have a couple of questions here. Why were these 6 adepts called adepts, not masters?
I mean, I kind of answered that earlier, because in certain circles, they understood things that they were still under certain influences. So they called themselves adepts, and they were working with cosmic masters, even though they were cosmic masters, they were working with other cosmic masters, and that was in their full aspect. And they understood that they were in their 4th aspect, so they called themselves adepts, you know, because they was working their 4th aspect, and it was clear that they were masters. They were masters to us, but adepts to the cosmic masters that they worked side by side with.
There's a question here referring back to the Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra. Is there a way to resolve symptoms like strong neck pain, Vishuddha chakra, either through mantras, meditations, or how to resolve this karmic punishment? Slowly, it seems to me like it is one. Physiotherapy does not work.
Is there? I didn't hear the whole thing. What is that now?
He said that, is there a way to resolve? Sorry, distracted. Is there a way to resolve symptoms like strong neck pain around the Vishuddha chakra, either through mantras, meditation, or any way to resolve this karmic punishment? Slowly, it seems to me like it is one. And he says physiotherapy does not work.
Most of those things have to be judged case by case. So, I mean, you have to do the research to see. It depends on how did it start, and then what type of pain it is. So, but I'm sure there's a way other than physical therapy. But physical therapy might be part of the solution, along with other things.
There's a question here. How should we focus on releasing a knot? I want to make sure.
Well, understand when we say a knot, we're talking about, what's the simplest way I can explain this? we're talking about a sound vibration that releases a particular energy formation of consciousness and power, in other words. So you have 50 petals, which are actually knotty knots that's along the spine. And you have to control, you have to bring about control over those 50 knots that spread out. The first chakra have 4 knots. The second chakra has 6 knots. I think that the third chakra have 10 knots. And then the fourth chakra have I think 12 knots. And the fifth chakra have 16 knots, and the last chakra have 2 knots. So as you move the Kundalini up, you must unravel those knots, meaning that you must control the consciousness of each knot or sound vibration and power within that knot. So when you bring control over using Kundalini, if you bring control, you unravel the mystery of that knot, you know, of how to unravel it, read it, obtain the power within it, and then place the knot back into its position and move to the next knot or the next petal. And that's what we mean when we say a meditation on each petal. And you gain the power, you gain the consciousness and the power of that knot or that petal. And then you can move to the center of the petal, which is the bindu. And it gives you access, the knowledge and power of each knot give you access to the bindu, which is the point of consciousness of that particular chakra. And it allows you to move into the all knowledge space of that particular chakra and experience and understand the endless potential of that energy formation. So that's what that means, without going too deep into it in a simple way.
Okay. We're gonna go a little bit over today. We can finish up this diagram. But also, because next week I have to do a continuing education course, I will not be able to host class, but we will be back calendar 21st. So no class on the 14th. On the 21st, we'll be back, hopefully. But a couple of questions here. What is the seed mantra or mantras to prepare to raise the Kundalini?
Seed mantras are the petals, what I just spoke about. And all mantras lend to raise the power of Kundalini. So, but there's, like I keep referring everybody back, go back to the 8 limbs of yoga and the 12 yogas. And those are the methods that the masters gave us in order to raise the power of Kundalini. You have to study that and practice those things, and you will see the keys to raising the power of Kundalini.
Okay, next question, and will for future reference. Do not give out or write mantras. If you notice when I was reading in the diagram, I don't read out the mantra, I just read out the syllables. It's a karmic law that we should not give out mantras unless they live within us. So the question is, do we bring control with chants and mudras on the chakra, etc.?
Do we bring control over the, what would you say now?
I think he's referring to the Kundalini. It says, do we bring control with chants or mantras and mudras like the RAM, AUM, etc. chants on each chakra?
Yeah, you use mantra and mudras and affirmations and you throw everything at the Kundalini in order to wake the Kundalini up and rise the Kundalini, and that's where I gave everyone the 12 yogas, and I showed them how the yogas loom together in order to bring about a rise of Kundalini. So if you go back and study those classes and the diagrams and the literature that I released at that time, you'll see it becomes clear to you, I think. And using the 8 limbs of yoga, using the 12 yogas, you'll see how all of them play into each other in order to bring about a raise of Kundalini. And it's not as simple as repeating the mantras that's given in the Vedas and the diagrams and all that. It's not that. I mean, if you listen to the lecture tapes, you'll see the science behind it all. And I see somebody referring back to knots and remedies and acupuncture. When the acupuncture deals with the nadis, the nadi means a flow of energy. So when the energy leaves the dormant Kundalini, it creates a matrix of nadis, and that matrix becomes the consciousness it becomes the consciousness of you. It lays out a backbone or matrix to allow consciousness to travel, and it's an aspect of the auric body that allows your subconscious, your conscious, unconscious, subconscious, and superconscious to interact and manifest itself on the physical plane. So in the flow of that energy, you get obstructions. Some people like to call it knots. And that's where acupuncture come in, because you have your nadis work on multiple levels of existence and multiple levels of consciousness. Of course, existence is consciousness. So so that's where those type of like the foods you eat, the acupuncture that they do in order to redirect the flow, the mudra yoga, the mantra yoga, the affirmations that also remove blockages. So it's more than just it's all not physical, it's mental too. So that's what that is. In my lectures, and I have some diagrams that go into the 12 yogas and the 8 limbs of yoga. They give you a brief outlay and it also direct you. I think we did a lot of classes on that, right, Dwayne? On the 8 limbs of yoga and the 12 yogas.
Yes.
Did multiple classes on that.
Yes.
So just go back into the video, the YouTube video library, and you'll see there's a lot of lectures I gave that go into great detail on those things.
And another question here. If a physician says a limb needs to be amputated immediately, what steps would you consider taking?
What is that? What?
So if a physician says a limb needs to be amputated immediately, what steps would you consider taking?
I listened to the physician first, but by then, I hope that person have weighed up all their options. But you know, I am a former medical student, so I know if most likely if a physician came to that conclusion, it came to that conclusion because it's going to hurt your health to keep that limb. So you have to consider maybe that's the common lesson that you have to learn in this lifetime. So you have to look at it like that.
Okay. On to the second paragraph. This Christ chakra is made up of bija, the bija sound of OM that produces two petals or letters. These two extend themselves as nadis. This chakra has 64 tattvic rays, which are 64 sonic modes of motion, where movement patterns of the cosmic energies that travel through the chakra and nadis leave this chakra. The motion of prana is brought about by the nada sound aspect of prana, shakti. Now, the nada aspect of prana is always accompanied with divic presence. In fact, all movement is governed by the law of karma, which is divas in action. So if you have 64 tattvic rays, then you also have 64 divas that are responsible for the tattvic ray. The tattvic ray of this chakra is conditioned by the third Mahabindu force of the etheric body, the moon. These rays collect from the mighty sun and reflect off the moon toward the Mother Earth's dark side to assist in manifesting the mental power necessary for building and maintaining the mental astral planes of existence. The tattvic rays are the sonic modes of motion that act as harmonic signals to stabilize subtle and gross manifestation within the human structure. Hakini, a divic entity that resides over the bindu within this chakra, that releases the bija, the holy sound or seed mantra of OM, and with it becomes the bija's additional seed mantras called petals, numbering 2 petals, which brings an end to the flow of cosmic energies called Ida and Pingala. And again, on the right-hand side, we have the same pictogram. And now it shows that we are looking at the commando center, represented there between the eyebrows, esoteric color of the Bible. And then we'll come next to the table. Describes the components of the Ajna chakra, the Christ center.
Hey, before you go on that table, why do you say it brings an end to the flow at the bottom of that paragraph?
Because that's where the Ida and Pingala terminates.
That originates from the base of the spine, correct?
Right.
Okay.
In fact, even in the physical body, it is it terminates to the left brain, like a right brain. Now, when you take the Ida and Pingala energy and balance them among themselves in the brain, you have basic clairvoyance, and so it terminates there in the brain as well.
Yeah, but that basic clairvoyance can begin at the lower center.
That's why they tell you in Tantra that the Christ chakra and the sex chakra work hand in hand with each other, because you have to balance the Ida and Pingala energy in the brain in order to begin to control and open the psychic centers in the sex center.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so then also in the paragraph above it, does it mean that every single ray of energy that is solar in origin must be conditioned by the moon because of our karmic pattern?
Yeah, the moon brings about the mental worlds of this earth. And that's one of the reasons why the moon moved in the position that it did, and the moon took control over the sea levels. Because in the physical body, our conscious state is kept in place as long as we hydrate ourselves. If we stop drinking water, we lose consciousness, and we soon exit the body. So the moon controls the mental world, and it manipulates the energy in order to allow us to control the mental world. It's
Okay.
like, even if you go back and you read the 9 freedoms, the 9 freedoms speak about the solar lords, which in the ancient books they call them Vishnu, speak about them manipulating the energy of the sun in order to give the energy to the planets or to the Mother Earth. So it had to be conditioned by these solar lords in order to allow the lower aspects or even gods to receive the energy. Other than that, you know, the timetable and the resort, the end resort might be a little different. So it's the same in order to allow mankind to exist here on Earth. The moon being an ancient great being, you know, older than the Earth itself, position itself in order to manipulate those energies on the behalf of the Mother Earth and the behalf of mankind. Or Lord, not only mankind, but even the animal life.
So, but okay, and then last question is, not even though the flow of energy through Ida and Pingala terminates at the base of the brain, now, but during conscious meditation, that flow of energy is withdrawn from those 2 nadis and forced up the central channel, isn't it?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Also, Dwayne, I noticed a mistake in this table.
Uh,
16, where it say granting not.
the Gudra.
Yeah, you see 16. Yeah,
Yes,
it's not that. It's Brahma.
okay. I'll put a note there.
It should be Brahma there, and it should be also Brahma in the throat center.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Brahma for both granting knots, this and the throat center.
Yeah, the throat and the Christ chakra is the Grantanat is Brahma. That energy configuration is not called Rucha. Rucha is the base and the sex center.
Okay, fix that. A couple questions here. Is there any proper rituals to do for the divas?
A prayer is a proper ritual. And then when you do a prayer or you do a blessing, you always make sure water, dirt, and fire is in the room. And or it can be a rock too instead of dirt.
Say the elements again.
You make sure that a rock or dirt,
Earth.
yeah, earth, and you water and fire is in the room. You already have air and space.
Okay.
But normally what's missing is the other elements, the fire and the rock or dirt and the water.
Yeah, but now don't the strength of that magic, that ritual depends on your conscious awareness of the role that those elements play in the ritual?
Not really. I mean, you acknowledging it by bringing it there, and then when you release the energy, the divas are present by bringing them into the room. So
Okay.
when you release the energy, the diva is going to do what necessary needed with the energy. You just have to release good energy. If you release bad energy, the diva is still going to use the bad energy. So you have to purify your thoughts, and that's why we project the energy from our palms of the hands and our heart chakra. Our heart chakra represents meaning and love, and the hands also represents it represents love as well because of the akasa energy. The akasa energy is an energy of love, because what does love do? Love preserve all other energies. And akasa energy also do the same thing. It moves energy from one place to the next, making sure that that energy stays together. It's a carrying energy, and love is a carrying energy too. So that's why they mix the two together: the palms of the hands, the fingertips, and also the heart chakra.
Next question, which sutra will access or assist in the rays of Kundalini?
I got to tell you, go back to my lecture. I don't want to give a fast and quick answer to that stuff, but the answer is I give the full details. You probably won't find it nowhere else. Go back to my lecture tapes.
And then a follow-up question to the rituals or divas is, how about if you live near the beach and do fire meditation?
Yeah, I mean that's another thing you do. You can do these. And it depends on what you mean by meditation too. But you can do if you're doing a blessing or a prayer or you're sending energy to someone. It's always good to go to a body of water to do it because it magnifies what what you're about to do. When you go to a body of water and do those type of rituals or prayer or projection of energy. So I mean, and if you go into the wilderness and do it, same thing.
Question is, should I come up with my own prayer?
You can, but make sure the prayer is balanced. And I think some of the best prayers I've ever used or seen came from the 12 Blessings, the book called the 12 Blessings, and the book called the Sacred Prayer book from the Theory Society, and also the Self-Realization Fellowship also released some good prayers, or some people call them meditations, but they're actual prayers. From their library as well, the metaphysical meditations and how to talk to God, little pamphlet or book. But the Their Society have a book of prayers called the Sacred Book of Prayers. It doesn't cost that much.
I don't know if it's on the website, but I think you can.
Do they have a PDF of that yet?
I don't know. I have a physical copy of that. I don't know if it's on the website yet. I'll check. But I had to request the physical copy. Okay. Now for the table, the Ajna chakra, the sixth chakra, composed of 2 petals. The Bija chakra petals, vibrations of nadi configurations, HA and SA. The mantra is OM. The realms perfected, or the Taka. The element is mind, or the Mahabhuta's cosmic element is Manas and mind. The name of the Tattva is Manas. And the Ta has 64 tattvic rays. Its esoteric color is blue. Exoteric color is indigo and violet. The mandala is round. The presiding deity is Sadasiva, Sabtu. The Grantinath is Brahma. The Guna Sattva. The Deva goddess Hakini. And the esoteric planet is Jupiter. And it is the Chandra Kundalini. complete our study of the diagrams. Any final questions before we close out today's discussion? All right, if there are no additional questions, close out today's class with the Lord's Prayer. The new Lord's Prayer. O divine and wondrous, O everlasting Lord of, send forth now through me thy great and lasting power. Allow me, Almighty God, the lasting privilege of radiating to all the world thy great love, so that those who suffer may be given the power and energy to rise above their weakness. Almighty God, in great humility do I ask you to send forth your power to give to me this great lasting privilege of being a channel. My suffering brothers may be helped and guided and healed and lifted into thy light. They who know not may look up, and in doing so receive their higher self, your divine counsel. Almighty God, this day have you granted me a divine privilege. Ask you now to give to me the strength so that never again will I turn from my inner vision of you. Great peace, great peace. In praise of your greatness, O God, doth my soul sing, and to energy to sing on. And all right, thank you very much, everyone, for your kind attendance and questions. As a reminder, I will be taking a continuing education course next weekend. I will not be able to host the class, but we should be back on the 21st, Monday, March. Thank you again, and have a
Nehemiah. Nehemiah, still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Yeah, you said the your desktop won't start.
It had to update itself. It had to go through multiple updates. It started. That's why
for Windows or for Zoom?
for Windows.
Oh, it was doing a forced update.
Yeah,
Okay.
it took about